Okay, folks, we are back. This is Street to Strategy. This is episode number 7. Folks, last episode, man, I am blown away. The amount of people that have contacted me over this podcast. I mean, Daniel's episode it's on a whole other level. But I got to take a moment to say something. I know you guys see the commercial, Sequoia Vein and Wound. This podcast would not be possible without those people. Specifically, the owner and operator, his name is Phil Myers. He's my neighbor. He moved in and I met him in a kind of an odd way. He was going through a divorce. He was feeling really down. I was out doing my yard. We started talking. We became friends. And, he asked me, hey, you got any cop stories? And I go, I got 1,000,001 of them. So I started telling him cop stories. We had a couple beers in his garage and he told me these are some of the best stories ever. And then he's the guy that gets this, that made this happen. Each episode's about $250 to produce. He pays for those. He doesn't ask for anything in return. But I really need to honor him and let people know what type of person he is. In the short time that I've known him, I've really come to love him as a friend. But I got to read you guys something about Daniel's episode last night before I was going to bed. And this represents probably one of about 150 messages that I got. But I got to read you guys this because it really spoke to my heart. It shocked me. And this is just in a nutshell. This is from a local chiropractor. His name is Mark Vaughn, sweetheart of a man, very high caliber person. But this is what he wrote. Hey, Jay, just finished episode 6 with your buddy Daniel. Wow. Powerful, raw, and real. Words can't express how moved I was by his story and redemption. I'm proud of him, and I don't even know him. But after watching, I feel like I kind of do know him. A fellow man, a good man, and I'm proud of you, Jay. You're natural. You're where you need to be. God is using you and Daniel to reach people. These kinds of messages are going to reach so many more than you can even imagine. It makes my heart feel good because Daniel, you, me, all have God in our lives. Though I, for one, have ignored him on and off for a long time. But he knows my heart and he's never given up on me. And I know he knows yours too. We've been blessed, and I'm blessed to have you, a friend like you, in my life. I certainly haven't been through the test of fire that you or Daniel or others have, but all men deal with these life issues, and we think we can solve them on our own. It's refreshing to see you and Daniel become emotional and not be ashamed of it. I do the same. I read and prayed a lot when I was dealing with my demons at my lowest point. I remember my favorite quote I still cite today. In order for things to change in my life, I have to change, not the things. God is good, buddy. Keep up the good work. Love you. And say hi to your wife. Man, that stuff, folks, hits me right where I live and breathe. And so let's get to it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce someone whose life and career embody service, courage, and resilience. He was born in Duarte, California, and raised in the city of Azusa. He is the oldest of 3 children in a close-knit family that has always valued hard work, faith, and family. His parents, who are approaching 42 years of marriage, set a strong example of commitment, one that clearly influenced his own path of dedication and perseverance. At the age of 9, his family moved to Visalia, California, where he'd eventually graduate from Golden West High School in 2002 and go on to earn his associate's degree from the College of Sequoias. But his dream of becoming a police officer started long before that, at just 5 years old, when his mom would sit in front of the TV to watch Chips. From that moment on, he knew exactly what he wanted to do with his life. That dream became a reality in 2000 when, at only 15 years old, he joined the California Highway Patrol's brand new Explorer post in Visalia. Through hundreds of ride-alongs and years of training, he learned the values of discipline, leadership, and community service. In 2005, he officially began his law enforcement career with the Long Beach Police Department, graduating from one of the toughest academies in the state. A few years later, he returned home to the Central Valley, joining the Tulare Police Department, where he would spend the next 17 years servicing the community with integrity and distinction. Over the course of his career, he served in multiple specialized assignments, from DARE and GREAT to a physical training instructor, and eventually fulfilling his dream of becoming a motor officer. But his story isn't just about a career. It's about perseverance through hardship, healing and trauma, and the courage to rebuild. After 22 years of combined service, including his years as a CHP Explorer, he retired medically and continues to serve the people of Tulare County today as a code enforcement officer. Please join me in welcoming a man whose journey represents the very best of dedication, resilience, and heart. Alex Soriano, welcome to the episode, brother.
Thank you, Jay, and thanks for having me today.
You got it,
Appreciate
man.
that.
You were born in Duarte and grew up in Azusa before moving to Visalia. And kind of paint a picture of what your early childhood was like.
Yeah, so I was born in Duarte, down in Southern California. I was raised in Azusa. Most of my family's still down there, down the San Gabriel Valley. Like I had mentioned, or like you mentioned there, my love for law enforcement kind of started, I guess, by accident. The joke in the family is that when I was just a little kid, my mom needed to get stuff done around the house. So she knew she only had about 30 minutes to get stuff done. And that's right when Chips came on, because she'd plop me on the couch and I would just not move for those 30 minutes or whatever long the episode was. And from then on, it was set.
You know what? It's interesting. I own all like 6 or 7 seasons of Chips on DVD.
Do you?
And I'll sit around and watch it. My wife, it drives her nuts. But, you know, and it illustrates there's something about those times. I'm a little older than you, but I love Chips.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's interesting. It's probably still one of my favorite TV shows. I still love it to this day. I also, you know, I mean, there's obviously, you know, newer things, but from those old school TV shows, loved it. 7 Mary 3 and 7 Mary 4.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
In fact, we just watched, for some reason, and I don't know how this happens, but I'll put it on, I'll fall asleep, and it always ends up on the episode where there was a tow truck driver that was assaulting people.
Yeah.
And my wife is like, every time you go to sleep, I see this tow truck driver assaulting people.
Yeah.
She goes, if you're going to put it on, stay awake, or I don't want to watch this, but it's funny.
Yeah.
What values did your parents instill in you that you think shaped you to become the person that you became?
First of all, probably the foremost is faith, that and hard work. My dad has been, both my parents, hard workers since day one. They instilled that in myself, but also both of my sisters, who are now teachers. And those were the two biggest things. You know, if you start something, you finish it.
Yeah.
Many times I didn't want to. So, you know, dad made sure that I was getting back into my lane there for several things. But definitely those two were probably the biggest things that they instilled in myself, for sure.
You've mentioned being the oldest of 3.
Yes.
How did that role influence your sense of responsibility growing up?
Well, I definitely had to take over. You know, Dad went out of town quite a bit for business, so I was always the man of the house.
And what type of work did he do?
So my dad, it's interesting. The reason we moved to Visalia was from Southern California is because he had a job transfer. So he worked for Monrovia Nursery down south. You know, they have Monrovia nurseries all over the state and country, but he would go out of town due to business. You know, he'd be gone a few days, sometimes a week, whatever it might have been. So at that point, you know, being the oldest of the 3, the only boy, you know, I started off at a young age, like I said, when, you know, 9, 10 years old. So the responsibility of taking care of my mom, my sisters, while my dad was gone, was kind of instilled at a pretty young age. So definitely has led on since then up until current day. Yeah.
Both your sisters are teachers.
They are.
What was your family's reaction when you told them that you wanted to go into law enforcement?
Well, I think it wasn't a shocker.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, since as far as I can remember, 4 to 5 years old, I've been pretty set on being a police officer, but specifically a CHP officer. That was my goal growing up, right? Wanted to be Poncherello. That was the whole thing, right? That was my idol growing up. So essentially, that's where it started and continued, kept going.
Got it. You've said your dream of being a police officer started when you were 5. Tell us about those early memories watching Chips and how that show impacted you.
Man, the motorcycles, the shiny lights, they're chasing bad guys. They're going down the highway, high rates of speed, they're assisting motorists. They're all the cool gear. I mean, it just at 5 years old. And as I was growing, they get to help people and they get to be out there. It just, everything about the job, obviously that I'm watching on TV, seemed intriguing at the time.
Oh yeah. Well, and I would tell you this, years later, it's funny for the folks at home. Here's the funny about the highway patrol. Great guys, but they hire a certain type of dude.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you just a quick thing, an anecdote to kind of show this. I'm on 198. There's a wreck, and I just happen to be the first one there.
Yeah.
I get the tow trucks coming, but that's highway patrol, so they got to come. And so this guy rolls up, and I was like, "Hey, brother, I got your, I'm Jay, and I got your tow trucks coming, and the vehicles are off, and I'll do your traffic control."
Yeah.
And I shake his hand, and he's like, "State Traffic Officer Smith," right? And I'm just like, "Hey, man, we're not launching the space shuttle here. We don't got to get that technical." But they normally hire very serious cats, other than Felix, and we'll get to that here in a minute.
Yeah.
Take us back to your sophomore year of high school when you discovered the CHP Explorer program. What drew you to that?
Right. Well, real quick, growing up too, I was very big into sports. All three of us were. My parents instilled that, in all of us.
What was your sport?
Baseball was my main thing.
Okay.
By the way, go Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah. I know there's
yeah.
a lot of non-Dodger fans out there, but hey, go Dodgers, right? And soccer. I also did football, basketball, but in high school I did some track as well. But growing up was mainly soccer and baseball. And then, what was the question again?
Basically, it was like when you discovered the Explorer program, what drew you to it?
So, being that, like I said, I was raised in also doing sports. That was also my second. I had a huge dream. That maybe one day I could, play some baseball, even college ball or something. I was pretty good at it, but deep down in my heart, there was just something still there that I wanted in law enforcement.
Yeah.
So fast forwarding up to the year 2000, when I was a sophomore at Golden West, every morning they read the bulletin, or they used to read the bulletin out in the class. And I got, there was this one notification of applying for the Explorer program that the Visalia CHP office was getting ready to start up. And really didn't know too much about it at the time. I looked into it a little bit more. I thought, this is perfect. This is my foot in the door.
Yeah.
It's CHP, which is what I've always, dreamt of. And I'm going to do this. So, of course, spoke to my, family. They were very supportive of it. Applied. And in February, so early on that year, February of 2000, I get a call advising that I'd gotten picked.
Awesome.
So they had created this brand new Explorer post, and I was part of that new group. So I was totally excited about that, and that's how my Explorer career began. Guys like Scotty Harris, Ed Flynn, Brian Avery, Don Tripp, Felix Lara, just a bunch of guys. A couple of the older guys, that have retired from there, but one of them was Dave Salazar. Dave Salazar. Yeah. We'll get into it a little bit with him. As far as him, call him Pops. He is like my second father and has been since I was 15 years old. And I'm 41 now, so that gives you a pretty good idea.
And I would tell you this for the folks at home, Dave Salazar, he was prior Vice APD.
He was.
And then he went to the Highway Patrol, and I think he did, I don't know, 20 years with the Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
But we would show up at the jail, book it together, and I mean, he's a Terminator, man.
Yeah.
And dude, Hispanic dude, extremely fit, not
Yes.
a hair out of place.
Still works out.
I mean, a uniform. But I remember
Pristine.
he would pull out his gun, put it in his trunk, but then he had like a boot gun. He had a knife about this big, and
He's got it all.
the other, like he's a tackleberry, right?
Yeah.
And but sweetheart of a dude, total warrior.
Yes, he was.
And a lot of those guys. It's interesting. I went to high school with Avery. And I've been in a lot of crazy stuff with Laura, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
What were those first few months like as an explorer, and any moments that made you think this is exactly where I'm supposed to be?
Oh, day one, just showing
Yeah.
up at the office this is exactly, it felt like home from that second. Very nervous, right? But at the same time, it was like, yes, this is.
See, when I was your age, I would have loved to have been an explorer with the Highway Patrol, I'll tell you this. Right after I got out of the military, I applied to the Highway Patrol. I killed it. I was like 9.
Yeah.
I got 90 on my oral. Then I was a vet,
That was
so they
good,
gave me
yeah.
like 5 points. So now I've got
they bump you up,
95.
yep.
I mean, dude, I went through all this. I killed it, knocked
Yeah.
it all up. I get to the end. And dude, they gave me the affirmative action stuff, dude. And it was a dagger to the
Yeah.
heart, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, and it took 2 years to go through that process back
It's a
then.
long process, yeah.
And, for years, man, I would see a Highway Patrol vehicle, dude, and it would just hit me right in the heart, bro. Cause
I understand.
I knew that, but you know what? I think the good Lord had his hand on me,
That's
and he
right.
put me where I was supposed to be.
That is right.
You did over 100 ride-alongs across California. What did you learn about policing and about the people during that time?
Yeah, I actually stopped. We had to do this paperwork after every ride along. You kind of had to write a memo describing what you did on that ride along, what you learned, that kind of thing. And you logged it and you submitted that, and you had to earn hours to be able to, working in the front office, filing citations, whatever kind of paperwork, whatever they needed you to do. And if you had a sufficient amount of hours, you earned yourself a ride along. So I was always busting as much as I can to get that ride along, right? So I actually stopped counting after I hit the 100 mark. From there, I don't know how many more I did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to see you back then on ride-alongs all the time, yeah.
So the thing about it is, I learned so much. First of all, the people, the CHP officers that were my mentors, became my family. Like I said, Pops being one of them, and then all my advisors. Very, very tight-knit, very close. They taught me about how to be a better person.
Oh, yeah.
First, they kind of broke you down a little bit. Not crazy, not like the military, the academy, but they broke you down a little bit. They made you understand that what we're doing here is to train you for the academy, and then from there, give you the tools so you can succeed there and move out onto the street. So during those ride-alongs, Jay, everything as simple as how to stop a car and how to position your vehicle behind that car.
Yeah.
How to watch, traffic behind you when you exit your vehicle, do the passenger side approach, not the driver's side approach. Things that you learn in the academy here and there, and then really learn it out in the street. I was learning it starting at 15, and that's something that I would never take back.
I was going to say, that's
love
invaluable, brother. I mean, you know what? All of us, I think every single one of us could have benefited from something like that,
Yeah.
You rose to the rank of captain as an explorer, which is impressive. What leadership lessons did you take out of that experience?
Man, honestly, first of all, hard work, because there were people that were older than me. I was 15. There was people in there that started at 19, 20 years old. And then everybody else kind of followed around my age. I treated everybody the same. Treated everybody with respect. They did the same with me. We just had a ball. But honestly, it was putting in that hard work, man. It was, you're in high school, and don't get me wrong, I had my fun in high school. I was playing sports too, lots of friends. It was a great time. But, I had to dedicate myself because it was a choice. It was a choice to do that. And this is what I wanted. So it took sacrifice, once, twice a month, I'd be doing a ride along on a Friday, Saturday night when my buddies are, out having fun, doing whatever they're doing. I'd have to decline and be like, hey, I got something going. So I'd be out there. It was the dedication. So, and again, like I said, you start something, you finish it. And this was one of those things, man, that I really wanted it.
Oh yeah. And I would tell you this, folks. I gotta say,
and I think I've known you, Jay, for about 26 years
now. Oh yeah, I remember you being a young kid. But I gotta say this to the folks at home: Alex has become urban legend. Alex was involved in an officer-involved shooting when he was 17 years old.
I was 20.
Oh, you were 20.
I was 20,
and you were on a ride along.
I was on a ride
with
along.
Officer Lara.
Yep.
Can you walk us through that incident? Because that right there is. That's badass shit.
Yeah,
dude.
so you got to remember. So I started at 15 at the Explorer Post. We obviously had different trainings that we had to complete. First aid, CPR, those kinds of things, and then you have to go through police academy. Explorer Academy, and so on and so forth. Right. So at this time, regarding the shooting that we were involved in, I was 20 years old. It was December of 2004. Okay. So I had some time in training at this time. By that time, I should say, I'd had multiple experiences with different subjects out on the road, pat down searches, handcuffing people, issuing citations, all those types of things, right? So my training had been very... It was intense, and it was that way because of these people that I rode along with.
Yeah, so you're just not some regular ride along. You kind of know a little bit.
Yeah, what I'm trying to get at is when I did a ride along from their mouths, and to this day we've talked about it, they felt comfortable enough like I was one of their partners. Jay.
Correct.
And to me, that was like the biggest compliment because my hard work was paying off. I was learning a lot of stuff. That is a compliment, totally. Yeah, it wasn't just like, hey, just go out there and, put the cone down or something. It was, hey, I need you to do the 180. I need you to, has he been patted down? That kind of stuff. So come this night, we're in Cutler. December of 2004, it was about 7:30 at night.
And for the folks at home, Cutler is a rural community, gang infested. There's a lot of good folks there, but there's a lot of gangs there. And it's actually it's a little bit out in the middle of Timbuktu.
Just about northwest.
Yeah, because you can't just get there quickly.
No.
There's only a few ways to get there. And so, but go ahead.
Yeah, so we're in that area. We're just patrolling. About 7:30 at night, we see a vehicle, roll a stop sign. We conduct a traffic stop on this vehicle, but it hadn't stopped along the curb, right away like it would, most cars usually do. It did find a driveway to pull into. We thought, okay, maybe it's just where he lives and whatnot. We did notice that there was 2 occupants in the vehicle, driver and the right front passenger. We make the stop. We both exit the vehicle. Mind you, at this point, again, Felix had a lot of trust in me and I knew how he worked. And so he approached first. I'm slightly behind on the passenger side. He approached driver, makes contact with the driver. I started making conversation with the right front passenger. Right away, I'm noticing they're all wearing dark clothing. They appear to be possible northern gang members at that time. So I'm kind of stepping back by the pillar of the door. Now, mind you, we have uniforms. We have duty belts, but we just have handcuffs. We have a flashlight. and a couple of different things. We don't have
You
a
have
taser.
body armor?
We had a vest.
Okay.
We did have a bulletproof vest, but we don't have a taser. We don't have a baton, handgun, anything like that. But I'm standing there, and I'm making small talk with him. At which point, Felix was talking with the driver, asks him a couple more questions, and then comes over to the passenger side where I'm at, because the passenger started to get a little squirrely. Felix noticed a couple things that kind of alerted him that maybe something else was going on. So as he walked around, he goes, "Hey, cover driver's side." So we kind of swapped spots. So I'm standing at the left rear of this vehicle's taillight, keep an eye on the driver who's still inside the vehicle. Felix assists the passenger out of the vehicle from the passenger side. Starts to pat him down. Finds a loaded firearm in his waistband area, I believe. That point, he was able to pull the gun out while holding on to the suspect, but he had me there, so he handed over the firearm, said secure the firearm. So I hold on to the firearm. Right as I'm about to secure it, make sure it's, safe. I believe he had one handcuff on that passenger when the fight started, right, between them two. So now he's in a physical fight with this suspect. I have this gun, and the driver's side door opens. So now, and mind you, there's an apartment to our left, and there's an apartment to our north. And so there's no way out but through us.
Is it the big apartment complex?
Just west of the school as you're coming into color?
Yeah, I know right where you're at.
Yeah, just west of those in those apartments. So the driveway was kind of elongated, right? So I see the driver's side door open, and I'm thinking, what the hell do I fucking do?
Yeah.
Well, I order him back in the car, right? So whatever training I'd had at that point, it just it came to. So I'm like, well, this is the only weapon I have. So get back in the car. He's not complying. At that point, he's looking around, and he realizes he's got to go through me, because car, apartment, me.
Yeah.
So we're only about 3 or so feet, maybe 4 feet. I mean, we're pretty close. And he just takes about 1 to 2 huge lunges, and I kind of step back a little bit, but it was very quick. So he latches on to my arm, my left arm. I have the gun in my right. So he was able. We kind of wrestled around for a little bit, but eventually we both ended up having our hands on the gun. In my left hand, though, I had my flashlight. So he's got a grip of that. So I can't release this flashlight, and I'm trying my best to free this hand, but I can't. So now the struggle between him and I, while the fight is still going on with Felix and the additional suspect over here, moves to near the front end of the suspect's vehicle. So we're both hunched over, trying what I call...
Well, fighting over the gun.
Well, yeah. I call it the finger fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no really other way for me to explain it, because he's trying to pull the trigger. I'm trying to pull the trigger. I looked down the barrel of that gun a few times, and I thought, fuck. And I was able to maneuver it his direction a few times and still trying to shoot it. So he's trying to shoot me. I'm trying to shoot him. I got this flashlight in hand, and mind you, I'm 20 years old, really good shape.
But you're not a sworn officer.
But I'm not a sworn officer either. But at this point, it was just an automatic thing. Like I said, my training, and I knew, because we'd had this talk many times on multiple ride-alongs, if this happens or that happens, it's okay to do this for the safety of you and others. So the fight's going on. I was going to say, he was also 20 years old. So we're the same age. I didn't know this at the time, right?
Yeah.
He's 20 years old, about the same height, same size build. So it was pretty fair across the board.
Yeah.
Right? Luckily. So we're doing that. I don't know. It seemed like forever, but I don't know how long it actually was. But it was quite some time. And at one point, I felt that gun slipping from my hands. And I realized he's going to get this gun. And it's going to take just a hair of a second to pull that trigger, and I'm done. And at that point, I decided, I need Felix. This isn't going well. So I yelled out to Felix, like, hey, he's going to get the gun. Felix is going to get this gun. And I'm still fighting. I'm trying my best, man. And he's still trying his best to get away from me. And out of the corner of my right eye, man, I see Felix, just this little blur, just come by me, behind me. And I just see the SN of this gun just come about this far away. No bull, man, about just a few inches from my face. And he knew what was going on. He saw the struggle. And four shots, direct contact to the back of that suspect's back. When those 4 rounds went off, everything just rang. It was just, and the tunnel vision was just like severe. Like my focus was just that gun. It's all I saw. But I could still feel his movement until it slowly wasn't there.
Yeah.
I held on to that gun tighter and just let go, and he fell. He fell.
I would tell you this for the folks at home. There's not many men that I fear. I feared Felix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is a warrior. He's got hands of stone. I've seen him knock out multiple people. He is a warrior.
Yes.
And, once you get to know him, he's a great dude, but I never doubted him, and I will tell you something. But that story, because you were an explorer,
yes,
dude, that became urban legend, bro. And, man, everybody in law enforcement, we know those stories. Mm-hmm. And when I would tell that story, people have no clue. I mean, a lot of people don't even know that,
Yeah, that was Jay, and we'll get into the others that I had as an officer, but like I've told you, that out of all my OISs and that one, even though I wasn't the actual shooter, man, I really fought for my life that night. And I think that one was the hardest critical incident that I physically and emotionally had ever, to this day, I've ever been through.
Well, and here's the thing. A gun going off this close to your head, that's a whole other thing,
Here's the thing, Jay. I believe to this day, and I've talked about this with Irene, my sister, my family, and several friends, including Felix. I planned on going a ride along that night. However, at the time I was working at Marie Callender's, and they had a party coming in that day. So I had to cancel my ride along. Well, early that morning, the party canceled for Marie Callender, so I was available. So what do? Hey, Felix, dude, I can make it. Can I come? Yeah, absolutely. So I believe, dude, in my heart that, and I've had this conversation with Felix one-on-one, and I believe that it was meant for us to be together that night.
Things happen for a reason, brother.
God had a plan that night, and I believe he definitely saved my life that night. And I think we were there for each other that night.
Yeah, dude.
After that shooting, I did have to, Scott Harris had to drive me to Kuwait Delta because I had ruptured my eardrum. I didn't even know I had been bleeding from the shots being fired. And to this day, I have slight loss of hearing from that shooting.
Yeah. Man, this story spread like wildfire because, there's not a lot of, I've had explorers ride with me. I've had ride-alongs ride with me. Hundreds of people rode with me. But you're right. It's a testament to you that he had the trust in you to have you hold the gun. But dude, that story is urban legend in law enforcement. You applied to the CHP, but ended up with Long Beach. And I remember us talking. I was like, dude, the Highway Patrol, they owe you, man. And, how did that happen, dude? How did,
Well, I love the Highway Patrol and I forever will. But at that time, Jay, you had to be 20 and a half to apply and older. I think it was like 20 and a half to 35, something like that. So I was only 20, so I was a little too young to apply. However, I had a buddy that I had met through an Explorer Academy down south, and he was about a year older than me or so, and he had already applied for the Hype Troll, but he had applied for Long Beach PD as well. My buddy Jeremy, he's actually a chippy now down south, but he said, dude, let's try Long Beach. I mean, you're from SoCal. You have family down here in Azusa, dude. You know, 30 minutes, you're there. And I was like, yeah, let's try it just for the experience. Jay, there was well over 2,000 some applicants.
I believe it.
Okay. And here I am, 20 years old, driving down to Long Beach, and I'm meeting up with my buddies that we're going to take this test. And we walk into the convention center, and we're just like, what is going on? So yeah, so I applied, and I ended up making it through the process. I really did not expect that many people, me being so young at the time, but yeah, passed that test and just kept going.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
Until, you know, the background, the background investigators from Long Beach, you know, they had a lot of questions, you know, because that shooting had just happened, you know, just a few months prior. So they were asking me, you know, are you ready? And I said, if I wasn't ready, I would have been done that night after my incident. I said, no, this is still what I want to do. And then June 2nd of 2005 was day one of the academy down in Long Beach. We had our own academy down there. So,
what was your experience like in the academy? Being away from home, facing challenges?
At first, it was very hard, just because, you know, you're out on your own. I was living with a buddy at the time. I was living just a few blocks down the street from Cal State Long Beach, right on PCH. So
I was going to tell you this, and I've heard that academy is no joke.
It was
very high stress. Them and like LA County.
Yes.
They always have like very high stress. And for the folks at home, when we say this, all academies are paramilitary, and you get a lot of screaming and yelling. But there were certain academies that were even an extent even higher than that.
Yes.
Yours was LA County Sheriff's Department.
Yes. Our first day, that lasted the whole academy, by the way. You showed up in full suit, tie, everything. You had your kit bag that you carried in your non-gun hand, and you marched in every single day of that academy. And once you were in, you dressed out for uniform of the day, you did your colors, you did all what you had to do for that day of the academy. After you were done, you ran to your locker room, you changed back into your suit, grabbed your kit bag, and you ran off the academy. You never walked on that academy ground unless you were told to walk.
Yeah.
So you ran out of there at the end of the day. Until you hit that parking lot, now you can relax. So it was very, very intense.
Can you share a memory that stands out from those early days at Long Beach? Something that really shaped you as a young officer?
Well, there's several, but
I remember you got shot at down there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, so that was a few months. I was about 7 months on at that time. Now, mind you, Long Beach PD, we had a year-long probation period, meaning the probation, but also the FTO program was a year long. It wasn't, 3 months and whatnot. So you had an FTO with you. So 7 months into training, you're doing pretty well. At this point, FTOs are starting to kind of relax a little bit. We are working graveyards. I was working North Division at the time, which is up closer to like the 710, 91 freeway in that area. We're at this park, Cherry Park. And we're tucked in the very back. It's very dark. My FTO and I were standing outside of the car, and we're going over, policy and a couple different things that, we had experienced on a call. So we're just debriefing things, And all of a sudden we hear pop, pop, pop. I'm thinking, what? And there's the street. It was fairly, a good distance away, but, not too far. So once we heard the initial pops, it was followed by the zing, zing.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
At that point, when I heard it, I looked over at my FTO and he's like, oh, we're getting shot at. And we saw a vehicle, it was a solo vehicle, northbound on the roadway, and we're like, that's it. So I get in the driver's side, he gets in the passenger side, haul ass out to the road, head northbound, see the taillights. Tried my best to catch up to it, but by that point, he had parked the car, ran in his apartment complex. We're chasing him. We end up making our way. We find this guy upstairs, hiding under some stuff, whatever. Take him into custody. Find the weapon, whole thing. I'd never been shot at that point, much less get the guy.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal. And I would say the second one was probably my first experience with the homicide. That one was my first month on the job. I take that back. That was my third month on the job.
Yeah, and I would tell you something, folks, for the folks at home. You can watch it on TV and you can read it in the newspaper, man, but when you go into houses and see people shot to death or see people bludgeoned to death or see people stabbed to death, I don't care who you are. Yes, we're in cop mode and we have to do things. We got to interview people and we have to, we're doing our jobs. Mm-hmm. But if you really think about it, bro, it's traumatic. It's traumatic.
And
dude.
this homicide was very unique in the way that I really never had one like that ever again in my career. He was a juvenile, about 16 or 17, and I had to crawl. We couldn't get in. So who are they going to send in the house?
Yeah, the skinny
brand
guy.
new rookie. Right?
Yeah.
Let's send the boot in. So we were able to crack a window, and I was able to get into the apartment. And I remember I had unlocked the door, but MTV was on. I'm scanning the MTV. The door's to my right, but I look over, and the little kitchen area or the nook area that was there, and there's this, what ended up being the body, just wrapped in nothing but black trash bags.
Wow.
Taped. So I got this is my literally first experience of a dead, murdered person in this trash bag here. So I unlocked the door, let the guys in, we clear, and we got to make sure he's good, right? So
dude, that's the scene from End of Watch, bro.
Dude, so that one. So I would say that was another one. But there's multiple, but those stand out pretty big.
Yeah, and man, I'm gonna say this, especially for the folks at home. You have had a career of trauma, dude. I'm just gonna say it. You are a gunslinger. You are a warrior, but I don't know of anybody else that gotten more shootings than you. And, we're going to explore that in a minute, but, man, I feel bad for you in this regard. I think from the minute that you got into this, especially think about from Felix to now, everything that you've seen, done, been a part of, it's a testament to you, dude, that you're still alive, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that out of love for you, man.
Right.
And I get emotional when I talk about this stuff because, again, dude, man, I love you like a brother, dude, but I know, man, I've had people like, man, dude, Soriano's crazy. And I'm like, I've told some people, don't judge, man, because you don't know what this cat's been through.
Right.
And so I'm telling you this because I got mad props for you, dude.
I appreciate that, Jay.
You've talked about how structured and intense the field training was. What lessons directly carried that you took from that and then used them for the rest of your career? Because I bet you it's a little bit more intense down there than it is here.
Well, yeah, and it was intense, but it was slightly different.
Yeah,
I expected two different worlds, meaning. So down south, you had to earn everything.
Yeah.
Cool things that we get right out of the academy, right? Your extender, you get to wear your sunglasses, have your cell phone on you, all those cool things that you have. We weren't able to do that. You had to sit in the front row for the whole year. You had to earn your extender for your, otherwise we were just old school, pull out your freaking.
Yeah, when he says extender, we had these extenders that on our radios, and so instead of pulling out your radio and talking in it, you could just hit it right here, and then that way. And I mean, shoot, my first few years at Visalia, we had to buy our own extenders. Yeah. And if you went by everybody's box, we all had our own screwdriver that we would use to attach these. And it's a big deal. And you know what?
It was the same.
And it's a game changer because the minute that you do that, because now you're no longer having to do this. Now you're just this.
Yes.
And it's for something so minor, it's a big deal.
It was for all of us that were going through, the FTO program, we were very proud to earn something so small. You think, oh, really? No, it took a lot of hard work to get that. And then to have wear your sunglasses, you thought, oh man, I made it. But they made you earn. That's what I'm saying. They kind of broke you down a little bit, but then they build you back up. Just because we graduated academy wasn't game. You still got a lot to do. There's a lot of room to grow there. So all those things were little bits and pieces of accomplishment. So I took that and used that with my career.
Got it.
Further.
Are you bothered by leg veins of any size, or is leg swelling or pain bugging you or someone you know? I would recommend that you make an appointment with our friends at Sequoia Vein and Wound to take care of it. With a friendly bilingual staff and their years of experience, they are happy to help resolve those issues. Give them a call to get a consult at 559-713-6478 and tell them that Jay Mac sent you.
Like I said before, man, if I wanted something, I worked for it.
Yeah.
And when I got it, it was like, yes, I earned this. And it meant so much more than, I put in for this assignment and I got it.
Yeah.
No. It was something that, that, like I said, if I valued it, I wanted it, I worked for it, and I earned it. So I think that was huge.
Yeah. Well, you became a husband and a father during your years at Long Beach. How did that change your perspective on the job and life? And, and I will tell you this. I remember when you were here at Tulare PD. I mean, dude, we all loved your wife. She was a sweetheart. She became a cop, and we'll talk about that later down the road. But becoming a father and a husband during that time, I'm sure that kind of changed your perspective. Yeah.
So we ended up getting married in 2006. And that same year later, that year we had our first son. Things were fine. I was still obviously working down in Long Beach. I was working the division I wanted with the people and the shift that I wanted. Life was great. Had no plans other than just staying there. But shortly after our first son was born, about 3 or so months later, we got pregnant with our second son. Jay, I tried everything to stay down there. I tried looking for places where I would be commuting an hour and a half.
I was going to say, cost of living down there eat you up.
Cost of living was crazy. Where we were living at the time was really nice, but it was just too small. There's no way we could have done it. So ended up having to relocate. And some of my family was still here, my mom, my dad, my sisters, and whatnot. So we looked into Visalia, found a house, not just a, a condo. So I applied to a couple different places, but Tulare picked me up. And I want to say from application to working was maybe a month and a half, if that.
That's lightning fast.
It was fast.
I would tell you this about Tulare PD, and I grew up in Tulare. I graduated from Tulare Union High School, but this is what I'll say. Visalia PD, Tulare PD, 7 miles apart.
Yes.
7, 8.
Two different worlds.
Worlds apart in thinking. And I tell people, Tulare PD was always known as very aggressive. That's an aggressive agency. I worked there for a short time, and I remember they called each other troop, right?
Yeah.
We don't do that at Visalia. It's a little bit more laid back. There, it just seemed a little bit more structured.
Yeah.
I worked with some of the meanest cops I ever worked with in Tulare. And, all right. So,
so I got to Tulare in June of 2007.
Okay, so that's pretty quick.
Yeah, so I did 207.
What was it like patrolling the same communities that you grew up in and around? That's I tell people, and I have a million stories. It's a blessing and it's a curse.
So I didn't spend too much time in Tulare growing up. Yeah, I had some friends that I go visit, high school, and then obviously the fair, and you got the farm show. So to really go into Tulare, I didn't do so often. But like you were saying, some of us didn't really want to go into Tulare because if we get in trouble, it was our ass.
Yeah.
So I didn't know too much about it, but I knew enough to when I went back. Jay, when I went to Tulare PD, I thought I went back in time.
Yeah.
I had just come from Long Beach, whole nother world down there. Living just my personal life, but also being a police officer. I remember one night, dude, I'm in my patrol car with my field training officer, is Barry Jones.
I remember Barry.
Yeah.
Hey, Barry, nice guy.
Good, man.
But very serious.
Very serious.
Yeah, yes. I mean,
I don't think I ever saw him eat a meal while he was my FTO. It was
what do you want to eat?
Yeah.
I would tell you this, and I don't even want to use the word wound tight. Just, I remember very serious, didn't like to really joke around much. And he actually ended up making captain there, right?
He was very serious, but he was one of my best FTOs, and I have a lot of respect for Barry Jones. To this day,
I had the Terminator, old Brookshire.
Oh, Larry Brookshire, yeah. But no, real quick, going back in time. Funny, I'm in my patrol car with him, with Barry, and I turn on my lights, and I think we're on a traffic stop. We're about to make a traffic stop. That's what it was. I turn on my lights, man. I'm like, what is that noise? And I just hear,
oh, it would grind. Yeah,
it was this grinding noise. What is that? And I look over at him, and he looks at me like I was crazy. I said, what's that noise? He goes, what noise? I said, that noise. He goes, those are the lights. I said, oh, because we had the big, light bars, and we didn't have a KDT. We didn't have any computer. So I had to, we had to use maps.
Wow.
So, you know what I mean? So I was used to that. So when I got to Tulare, it was a little different. So I had to adapt to it. But man, I'll tell you.
Did you have those CNG cars?
Yes, we did have a couple. I wasn't assigned to one, thankfully. But
for the folks at home, Tulare PD, somebody made the dumb decision to go to gas, like natural gas cars.
Yeah.
And those cars would go like 60 miles.
And then fill up like twice or three times a shift.
And
something like that.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It just, you know what? It'd be great for other vehicles. It's just not good for police vehicles.
Yeah.
So you've gone through extensive specialized training from PT instructor to DARE and GREAT. What motivated you to keep learning and expanding your skills? And real fast, what is GREAT?
Okay, so gang resistance education and training. They coupled that with DARE.
Got it.
Okay. DARE K through 6th, and then for the older grades was the gang resistance education.
Got it.
So yeah, I did that. I started teaching also at the academy in 2008, 2009, doing physical training, PT, with Felix Lara, Gracie Paris, and Chris Bees, and just a bunch of other guys, So I started teaching there. Eventually, I ended up also helping out with accident investigation, traffic stops, you name it. I was also an RTO, recruit training officer there, up until about 2 years ago. So I spent some time, doing that as well.
Nice. What did you enjoy most about teaching and mentoring kids through DARE and GREAT?
To this day, I've run into students that I had in the past. They're 5th grade, 6th grade, and now they're coming up to me. Had some go, "Are you Dr. Soriano?" And it's like, I don't recognize this person at all. And I'm retired, but this is, I'm Soriano. And they've told me, "Oh man, you are my DARE officer, and you were so great. You helped me with this, you helped me with that," and that makes me feel really good. Actually, believe it or not, there was one shooting that I was able to figure out some information from this one former student who was tied up with the gang life, but ended up giving me some pretty good information. So it was that trust that I had, that rapport that I had that I didn't even know was that strong with that student at the time, that I was his dare officer. So, down the line. So it's just being there for them and at least giving them that sense of hope. Because I know some of those kids didn't have families to go home to. They didn't have anybody to look up to. They didn't have any of that positive, influence or environment, period. I mean, just in general. So for me, like for these students that have come up to me, I was that for them. So awesome. that makes me feel good. Absolutely.
Folks, like we always talk about, I'm a master storyteller.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a story.
You go for it.
So this is 2009. I'm working patrol, and my boss calls me up, and he goes, listen, I'm going to take you, and we're going to send you to Redwood High School. They were having like 20-on-20 gang fights. And there was this big thing between the Oriental troops and the North Daniels, and it really turned into like this racial tension between the Asians and the Hispanics. And but I mean, they were having just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And there was a female officer there at the time. She wanted to go to Narcs, so they let her go to Narcs. My boss he calls me in and he goes, look, you're going to go over there. You're going to clean this place up by any means necessary. Do what you got to do what you do best.
Yeah.
Just don't get us sued behind this shit. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, Roger that. So I show up. Well, in 2 years at Redwood, I hooked and booked 200 kids out to juvenile hall.
That's
fighting,
wild.
drugs, weapons,
Right.
theft, you name it. But so I'm a brand new officer there, and a female fight breaks out in the quad.
Right.
Female fights are worse than male fights because, number one, they've ripped each other's tops off. And I remember walking up, and there was like clumps of hair this big where they had ripped each other's hair out. And I'm fully dressed in police uniform, and there's 200 kids with cell phones filming this, and it's the real deal. And I'm like, police officer, quit fighting. They will not stop.
Right.
But as I'm trying to pull them apart, they won't let go of each other's hair.
Right.
So if I pull one, the other one's coming.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to uppercut each other. And, it's the real deal. So finally, I step in, and I'm really trying to get them apart. Well, one of the girls tries to elbow me between my legs. She hits me in my thigh. So I take my knee, and I crack her in the side of the head. Down she goes.
Yeah.
And I pass her off to an assistant principal. And then the other girl takes off running.
Yeah.
But the other girl, I always know, I'm pretty sure she was the aggressor.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, no, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
So there was two counselors. They were in a golf cart, and they kind of block her off.
Yeah.
That gives me enough time to close the distance.
Right.
I grab her. I get my hooks out. I'm just getting ready to put the handcuffs on. Her brother jumps on my back.
Yeah.
I get him. Me and him start fighting. But I'm getting him I got him in a twist wrist lock, but I don't have either one of my hooks because they've just been thrown on the ground during this. And I'm getting to the office where I look over, and I see my principal. He's been pushed up against the wall by that other girl's brother. Wow. And I'm already, that right there, it already pissed me off. And then, but I'm getting the other kid to the office, and here comes the gang, and it's a North Daniel gang. And now it becomes the scene from Tombstone, and they surround me. It's like,
yep.
And they go, let him go. And I go, I ain't going to do it. And they go, let him go, or we're going to jump you.
Really?
And so the guy that I had, he starts fighting. So I take out my taser, I shoot him in the back. Boom! Drop him.
Yeah.
And so now they're like, sir, turn off the taser, sir. He's in pain, sir. And I go, I'll turn it off, but I want everybody to get on the ground.
Exactly.
But while we're negotiating, homeboy on the ground's eating 50,000 volts.
Yeah.
So finally they're like, sir, turn it off, sir. So finally I go, I'll turn it off, but you guys got to get on the ground.
Yeah.
So finally the guy on the ground goes, get on the ground, right? So the principal runs up, hands me my hooks. I get him hooked up, get him over to the car, put him in the car. Somebody had called their parents, and the parents pull up. They run through the office. They don't check in. They run through the office. They jump out the back door of the main administration building, and it kind of brings you to the quad.
Right.
And they immediately, start calling me everything but a white man, racist and all this. So I tell them, I said, you guys have 10 seconds to leave, but 9 of them are already gone. If you don't leave, you're going to go to jail.
Right.
And so the mom, dude, jumps off the stairs, walks right up to me, and she goes, "You ain't got the balls to put me in jail." So guess what? I took her to the ground, grabbed my other hooks, hooked her up, put her in the car.
Right.
I go into the main office. The female that had been in the first fight, she's in there. I walked right in the principal's office, grabbed her, hooked her up.
Yeah.
And so I booked brother, sister, mom.
Wow.
And but here's where it gets crazy. That night on the news, officer tases child.
Yes.
That's what it says. Now, child is 17 years, 10 months, weighs as much as me. And, this is when you just know that the media is trying to spin it.
Sure.
But now we go to the expulsion hearing. And so they show up with like this NAACP lawyer, right? And he's like, "I want it on record that this officer is out of control. He's racist." And I said, "Well, let's do this. Let's play the video, because video don't lie."
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And he's like, "I object. We haven't had an opportunity to see this video." And I said, "And this ain't a court of law. This is an expulsion hearing." And I go, "I'm playing this video.
Wow.
I dare somebody in this room to stop me." So we play the video, and obviously everything that happened was on video, and they ended up getting expelled. I tell that story in this. After that, parents were used to coming down there, wigging out, cussing out administrators, cussing out teachers. But my reputation kind of carried it. So now when people would show up, I'd be standing out there and they'd go, "Officer McWilliams, we've heard of you." And I would be like, "I know you have.
Yeah.
But my word is bond.
Yes.
The first time you use profanity on this campus, the first time you make threats, you're going to go to jail."
Yeah.
I go, "I don't tolerate it. You want to come advocate for your kid? Conduct yourself accordingly and act like an adult."
Right.
This is not a street corner. We're on a campus.
Right. I agree.
And but anyways, how did teaching young people compare to your day-to-day patrol work? It's way different.
Yeah, you're talking two different worlds. One, teaching the kids, you kind of have to put yourself in their shoes. You're trying to explain all this information to them while still keeping their attention, focused on you. But honestly, with the kids, it was easy.
Yeah.
It was, "Officer Soriano's here. Okay, so now they want to hear what you got to say." And,
Wow.
And usually for like the older kids, third, fourth, up to sixth, they want to hear at least a story every single time, you come into the office. So that wasn't bad. That was, that was really fun. That was a good time. Out on the streets, that's a whole nother ball game.
Oh yeah. I could tell you this. Let's talk about December 2011, your first officer-involved shooting. What happened, and how did that change you?
So at that time, in December of 2011, I was technically assigned to the schools. I was still working there at the time. However, it was winter break.
Well, that's right. You got to an OIS as a dare officer.
Well, that's another one. We'll talk about that one.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that one later. But this night, December of 2011, I was working patrol. You could take vacation or take time off, during winter break if you had, if you wanted to do that. I ended up working. So I'm working. I'm at the outlets that night. I'm typing up a report. I'm by like the O'Neill store there, just typing away.
And for the folks at home, real fast, the outlet center it's the major shopping place in Tulare. It's really nice. It's got all your outlets. It's got the big movie theater there.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. In fact, for a lot of years, it killed downtown Tulare because the outlets everybody, I shop there, and I live in Visalia.
It's right off Highway 99, so it's easy access off and all that. So, I was there, and I had gotten, my call sign at the time was 67. So I hear my number, and then I hear 64, which is Mace Aguayo. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But so we got dispatched to the area of Blackstone and Cross in the city of Tulare. came out as a possible 207, 245 domestic. All if you could think of it, as probably in that call. Kidnapping, assault, deadly weapon, domestic violence, you name it. So they were trying to obtain some more information as they were dispatching us. So I'm en route.
Was that in the apartments?
Yes, 600 block of North Blackstone.
They're not. I don't even think those apartments are there. They're still there.
They're there. Yeah, they're still there, just north across.
Okay,
east side of the roadway there. But so I'm en route. Mace is en route, and Mace gets me on the air. We're trying to coordinate where to park because we got information that this guy could be armed, right? So we end up parking just north of this apartment complex that we were dispatched to, and we decided to walk it in, just for safety purposes, try to get some good, better eyes on it, because we also had the description of the vehicle that he was supposed to be in. So we didn't, want to tip him off. So we walked it in, like I said, and we ended up looking into the parking lot, and there it was. And we advised dispatched. Lieutenant at the time, Lieutenant House.
Oh, Richard House.
Yeah, he
was
world
famous.
Yeah, he was there, and he was our LT, and we're trying to let him know what we had. He advised, just kind of hold on. Let's just wait. Let's get negotiators, SWAT, all this stuff, So we're holding it from our end, and we're standing by. The problem was that not long after that, a few minutes, we see two subjects, male, walk out of the apartment that they were supposed to be in. Well, those are our guys, so we thought. Okay, well, they're walking towards that car. Hey, put it out. We think
now it's amped it up.
Yeah, now it's amped it up, because now we're like, hey, they're walking to the car. Are they grabbing some? They walk back in there. Where's the female? Are they trying to, get away? And, what's going on? We're trying to figure this all out as it's happening within seconds. We're putting it out, over the radio. So dispatch and lieutenant has knowledge of this. And at that point, they get into the car, and Mace and I put out one more time. I think they're getting, they're going to take off, kind of thing. He goes, well, if you can, take them down, whatever you can do. 10-4. So Mace had long rifle. I had my Glock. So I run up first. He's behind me on the passenger side. I knock on the right rear window. They didn't know we were there at all. The car was on. The star primary was in the driver's seat. He looked over his right shoulder, sees me, sees Mace, looks at his passenger, and we're yelling, get out of the car, get out of the car, guns out. Well, he puts it in reverse and guns it. So now we're in between his car and a parked vehicle, but behind me is a pole for the structure, the shade structure. So I needed to figure out how to get out of the way, because he was going to smash me between the pole and the right rear of his vehicle. And we had retreated slightly, and he had stopped. But we're ordering him to hands, the whole thing, still nothing. And at that point, his car made another movement. And at that point, I'd already determined in my head, if this car moves at all, after he just trying to run us over, the call, everything, I had already made my mind, I'm going to fire.
Yeah.
Because he's going to probably take me.
Rightfully so.
And there was no way out other than making a huge U-turn, but it's very tight, very narrow. So possibility of him hitting other people or other cars is right there. So the car moved. We felt the threat. We knew what was happening. So we fired. I fired 16 rounds initially. That car moved, kept moving, crashed into a water main, water spewing everywhere. I'm not sure how many shots Mace fired. He fired, though.
Out of that AR?
Out of that AR. That car just smashes into the storage, these storage units next to that water line. So you got water just spewing everywhere. This car's crashed. Now we have units en route. More units are en route, but we have these two guys in the car. We ended up getting more units on scene and getting the right front passenger out. I believe he had some injuries, but I don't think it wasn't life-threatening at the time. So pull him out. Somebody takes him off to handcuff him.
Driver deceased? The
driver had not been deceased yet. He's still in there. Okay. What happens next was crazy. Because there was a shot, I believe it was a sawed-off on the floorboard of that car, the passenger side. The suspect, the driver's seat, had grabbed that thing. And Lieutenant House friggin' grabbed that thing and was like, "You're not getting this gun. Let it go. You're not getting this thing." So he's fighting over this freaking gun with his suspect. So I round to the driver's side. Mace is on the passenger. We had a few more units pull up. Lieutenant was able to grab the gun away from the suspect. And I'm looking right at him through the windshield. We have officers on the other side, passenger side. And he looks at me, he just stares at me, takes a big deep breath. And he looks over to his left, looks at all the other guys, and he reaches under his butt. And I can't see what he's reaching for, but I'm yelling commands, "Monsieur, your hands, don't move." And I hear somebody from my left side, I don't know who, still don't really know who, but somebody yelled, "Gun, gun, gun." At that point, as his arm is coming up, or his hand, I see the handgun, and it's coming right up. And I fire 6 more rounds right through the windshield as I'm going to the left on the driver's side. And there was some fire from the other side as well. And as I'm firing, of course, I'm moving towards the left rear of the vehicle, right? And everyone's doing the same. Yeah. We hear ceasefire.
I'm sure that was
multiple
the LT.
times. It was.
Yeah. It was. He always had a way. He'd come over there for the folks at home during pursuits. He's the only person I ever seen that did this, but he would say stuff like this: "Everybody, slow down, breathe, relax."
Yeah.
I've never seen another supervisor do that. I've never heard that. But that was just something about him.
That's what he did, yeah.
But, dude, that guy went to the academy the year I was born, dude. I was born in 1971, and he went to the academy in 71. And he's still working with you, dude.
Well, he was,
like 40-year career or
and
something.
Like I said, I mean, he was in it. He was in it just like everybody else. And so once we heard the ceasefire, I remember, mind you, this is December of 2011, so it's right at Christmas. So it's just a bunch of Christmas lights and the fumes from the exhaust and all the shots that have been fired. I remember it like it was yesterday, dude, just looking at everything. And I remember seeing him in the driver's seat, sitting up, and he slowly, after that ceasefire, slowly slumped to his right, and that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had that time I think it was an additional 6. So I think that night, cause I did reload after the first, 16, I reloaded and then it was 6. So I think I shot about 22 rounds that night myself. As that's happening though, and I see him slump over and everyone's trying to make sure everybody else is okay. Girlfriend runs out.
Oh yeah.
Didn't see where she came out. I think she came out of the apartment. My adrenaline was so high that she's running towards the car, towards the driver's side. So she's running my direction. Now, I'm right-handed. I had so much adrenaline. I was like, get back. Wasn't listening, yelling his name. So with my left hand, I got right underneath, and I just shoved her so hard to get back that she was airborne for a little bit and just landed straight on her back.
And you know what, folks? I'm going to tell you something. And I've been in situations that you're talking about. And you're right, dude. It is controlled chaos. But those, like that 60 seconds after all the shots, everybody everybody says it goes quiet.
It does.
And everybody is like, you're really trying to process what's going on. But again, you're still scanning for additional threats because people could come out. I mean, there's so much going on, man. But dude, I remember that. In fact, there was like some video of that shooting because I remember seeing House like off onto the side. And but you know what, dude? Listen to that story, dude. That was badass shit, dude. I mean, you know what? And I'm gonna tell you something. You went through multiple critical incidents in your career. How did your mindset evolve between the first, the second, and third shooting? Because I would tell you something. I don't know if there's anybody been in more shootings than you at Tulare PD.
There may be one or two that have 2 or 3. I have to confirm.
Who would have 3? Because I don't know. I remember this. I mean, behind your back, dude, we used to say this, dude, Alex, you are a gunslinger, dude. You're just a gunslinger. And, I also tell people this, but even without us talking, there's an emotional price to be a gunslinger, dude.
There is. And nobody goes out, nobody gets into this career and thinks, okay, this is my goal. I'm going to have at least a few shootings. Dude, it's not.
It's not.
And that's the thing. It's one, to answer your question. I really didn't expect the first one as an explorer. And then this one as an officer being my first one, that one was wild. 2 completely different shootings, 2 completely different styles.
Now, I was gonna say, now you're the one pulling the trigger.
Now I'm the one pulling.
Plus, you got Mace with the long gun.
Yes.
And, and I will tell you this, man, brother, and every time we talk about shootings on this show, I tell people we are not bragging. We are trying to show people this is really what happens. You can watch it on TV. You can read it in the newspaper. 9 times out of 10, the newspaper gets it wrong. But, dude, I mean, we were talking about that. That was big. That was big news in the law enforcement community. That first shooting. Yeah, that was a big deal, dude.
Yeah, that one was big. I mean, with the amount of, like I said, firearms and the way their criminal record was, what they had done that night to his girlfriend, her family, it was going to be them or us that night for sure.
Oh yeah. But and we'll kind of get to it. Many people don't understand the toll of these incidents. What did it feel like mentally and emotionally after that first time you had to take a life in the line of duty?
So I don't think it really hit me initially right away. Your adrenaline is so high.
Dude, I don't know about you, man, but dude, I remember, dude, I was like, I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet, man. You know what I mean, dude? I mean, and it really is. It's and I hate to put it to people that way, but when you're in that and you go fisticuffs or you go toe to toe with your worst type of gangsters or criminals, dude. I mean, I don't know about you, dude, but I was so pumped.
I was, but my mentality at that time was, holy shit, I just got in a shooting. We just killed some guy. And what my thoughts were at the time is, dude, I was putting up, there was so many officers at that point. We had TCSO and Highway Patrol that showed up eventually. And dude, I was setting up crime scene tape.
Yeah.
My mind was still in work mode.
And actually, they should have got you out of there immediately.
I was getting there. Yeah.
They should have got you out of there immediately.
Again, but it all happened so fast. We secured it. Everything was, the scene was code for at that point, as best it could be. So we needed, because people were starting to come out. So we needed to do what we had to do to secure it. But then they did have Bill Robertson, to this day, one of my most favorite people, my mentor. They said, hey, we need you to take him over to 1019.
And for the folks at home, Bill Robertson, another one, warrior.
Tulare PD, yeah.
Warrior.
He's retired now, but big time warrior. And I remember I got in the patrol car with him, and we're heading back to the PD, and he looks over at me and goes, "You all right, buddy? You all right, man?" And I'm thinking, I have no idea, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still processing this. But yeah, I'm good. So yeah, then we get to the PD and then we wait.
Yeah. Yeah. DA's office do
All that.
Yeah.
Yep, all that.
You also experienced the tragedy of the 10-month-old baby's death in 2018. How did you process something that heavy while trying to stay professional? Because we've all been in similar things, dude, where you're just going, how the hell am I here? Why am I here?
Yeah.
But I remember us talking about this, dude. This was a big deal,
10-month-old babies. Yeah, December of 2018. I was working patrol at that time. I was working day shift. It was about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I was in the parking lot of the PD. I was typing some paper, and I get dispatched to this area on South K across from the fairgrounds regarding possible non-breathing infant. It's more of a medical aid is how it came across.
Was it the little hotels, or was it the mobile home park? Mobile home park?
The Village Inn.
Oh, the Village Inn. Okay.
Yeah, those are further south. But yeah, so we went there, I got dispatched there, and Mace was also dispatched, and I remember thinking it was like, okay, it's a medical aid. Let's see what we can do. As I pulled out of the parking lot, it's not very far from the PD. It's right there.
Jump. Yeah.
So after I pulled out, it upgraded a little bit. We got 2 non-responsive children and whatnot. So I'm basically getting there after they are dispatching. So I'm first on scene. Somebody is pointing me into the direction of this one motel room. So I entered the room, and there was this female who was covering herself with a comforter of from the bed, because she was naked underneath that, but she was covered, and she was just saying, you got to help my boys, you got to help my kids, please help them, and they were both laying on the bed, both nude and blue. And I looked over at the mom, and I'm like, what happened? Trying to figure out what's going on. And she wasn't giving much information, man. So right around then is when Mace got there. That's what I remember. And I told Mace, I said, you grab one, I'll grab another, and let's just start doing CPR.
Yeah.
We had another officer show up. Priscilla Solis showed up, and I believe she was the one coordinating with the ambulance. I can't remember who, but we needed an additional rig. We needed 2. We needed them now. It was very urgent.
Yeah, and for the folks at home, here's the problem with cops. Yes, we know CPR, but we don't have the equipment. So we always like it when we can get fire and ambulance there, because they've got oxygen, they've got the ambo bags, they've got all these things that make it way more likely that people are going to survive. Because the problem with us, we're just trying to do it either mouth to mouth, chest compressions. So, and I've been in what you've been in, and I would tell you something, it's a horrible feeling, because this, we're going to do our best, but we just don't have the proper equipment to make it.
Yeah, no, we did what we had to do with what we had available to us at the time, with all our training and our experience, and we were doing good, and we got that second rig there. It was ASAP, Once they got there, Mace and I were like, okay, we're going to leapfrog this over to Tulare District, TDH is what we call it at the time. So let's get over there quick. I got in my patrol car, pulled out onto K. I had the rigs behind me. Mace was tailing it, and we just leapfrogged every intersection as fast as we could, getting those rigs over to TDH, to the hospital. We got him there, tried to clear the way as best we could. We had dispatch advise them to prep them that we're coming. This is what we got.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they quick got him in, started working on both little boys. Mace and I, we stood by right outside both rooms. They were right next to each other.
Yeah.
The rooms, So he's looking at me, I'm looking at him. We're like, hey, dude, you did good. No, you did good, bro.
Yeah.
We try. Let's see what happens. Let's see what, we're optimistic still, We thought maybe they were down for a little bit. As we kept saying, hey, maybe we just got there just in time.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Jay, to be honest with you, how long it was. It seemed like forever. Maybe it was an hour, maybe less. I don't know. But I know at one point our buddy, Detective Esparza, showed up, Jose, and we're talking with him, and that's when we got the word that they both didn't make it.
Cause of death, what did they ever determine? What?
So she had drowned him.
Okay.
She had drowned him in the bathtub of that motel.
Horrible.
Hours before we'd even gotten there, dude.
Yeah.
So they had no chance. We had
yeah,
no
man.
chances.
But you know what, bro? We always come in limited info.
Yeah.
And you know what? And we're trying to do the best we can.
That's exactly right.
Man, God bless you. I kind of want to switch gears real fast, and it's a tough situation for me to talk about. I lost my sister to suicide, so I'm very sensitive when it comes to suicide. But tell us about Mace passing away.
Okay. Well, the information that I know. Well, let me back up. Mace has been through a lot of shit. Mace went through a lot of shit.
And for the folks at home, if you guys would have, I wish we had a picture of him here, because good-looking kid, $1 million smile, great cop. We would always end up at the jail booking together, and I always enjoyed talking with him. He was just kind of like a funny dude, and he just had a kind of a cool way about him, and he was always fun to talk to.
Very.
But I just remember, man, I always liked him.
Yeah, he personally himself went through quite a bit, critical incident wise, and just overall career. He had a very good career, and he was a badass cop. Mason and I got into a lot of interesting things on the job. Get to countless pursuits that we worked so well together. 148s, when people would resist. I can't tell you how many fights we got into that. We had each other's back. We got the guy into custody safely. We weren't hurt, at least not too bad. Mace went through a lot, and he, one day while on duty, decided to take his own life in his patrol car in the city of Tulare. When I got the word that day, by this time, I'd already been medically retired. This is just a few years back, so not too long.
It wasn't, I remember it wasn't long ago at all.
I was at home. I think I got a call from one of my buddies at the BE and said, hey, man, I just want to let you know this is what happened today.
And this was a big deal. I was on duty that day, and I remember there was a lot of talk, like, was he kidnapped? Was he? Well, that's right. Yeah, this was like, honestly, man, for about the first hour,
because they couldn't find him.
They couldn't find him, and I will tell you this, they were putting this out to everybody. Be on the lookout for his unit.
Yes.
Be on the lookout for him. And you're talking about it right now, dude. I got goosebumps going down my back, bro, because this is big shit. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. It is. This person that called me, Craig Yancey is the one that called me. And he called me because he knew the relationship I had with Mace. I remember, he was telling me that he was MIA. They couldn't find him. They they had maybe as allied agencies looking at it. It was just everybody was looking for this.
Also, I remember like they were pinging us phones.
Yes,
and, for the folks at home, when we ping a phone, that means we have to write a search warrant, and we got to go to the provider, and then they can give us a location where the phone is at. Yeah. And so I remember there was a lot of talk about that, and then ultimately he ended up at the city yard in Tulare, and that's where they found him. Folks at home, this sent shockwaves through the law enforcement community. It really did. And I remember me and Gino talked about it the day it happened.
Yeah.
Because everybody liked him. And, it's sad because it really illustrates what this job takes from people. And, I wasn't as tight with him as you were, man, but dude, we all like that kid, man. And I just remember thinking at the time, man, but by the grace of God, man, that could be me, that could be you, that could be a lot of people. And, the tough part about suicide, and I'll tell you this in my own personal thing, whatever mentioned by mom, man, it took it. My mom was never the same.
Yeah.
I kind of went into cop mode, that's what we do, but dude, Jesus, man, I felt so bad for your guys' agency at the time, because I know that truly rocked that agency and hit people right where they never breathed.
Yeah, and it still does to this day.
Looking back, what did those experiences teach you about the resilience and the vulnerability of being in law enforcement?
You're always vulnerable.
You are.
You really are.
Well, I was just saying this. It wasn't the unzip our flag, right? You have to give people the benefit of the doubt. But a lot of cops have been killed because they give people the benefit of the doubt. Yes, and I can tell you this, bro. Tulare PD, man. I mean, that's an aggressive agency, and there's a lot of great people that work there. But getting back to you. And here's the problem. We don't ever want to show vulnerability.
No.
We never, hey, how you doing? I'm fine.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not fine. And, and we're dealing with trauma in our own ways. I used to say this. Working patrol or getting all these criminal guns, that's one thing. You know what the real battle? Being home alone.
Yep.
And running this stuff.
Your mind is going all the time.
And, man, you've been very open about your battle with alcohol.
Yes.
And attending rehab in 2013.
Yes.
What led to that point?
Well, I would have to start with never dealing with the shooting that I had with Felix.
I bet. Yeah.
As an explorer.
Did you even get to talk to a psychologist?
So I did.
Okay.
That night, I believe it was that night. Vaguely remember it, but I did, and I think that was it. There was nothing. There was no follow up. As a matter of fact, when that happened, I was in the academy that a few months later in June.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to really process it, so it started there, and I didn't have time to really think about it because I was preparing for the academy. Then I was in the academy. I'm trying to learn everything, in the academy. Then you graduate, then you hit the streets. And for a year, I'm on probation, FTO. So, and then in that year, then I got shot at. And then, the death and the suicides, like we were talking about, and then the homicides. Dude, homicides were just, every weekend you're getting a shooting or stabbing. It's just, especially in North Long Beach, you're just like, that's just what you did. So all those things are happening. And then we fast forward to 2011. Now, mind you, in this time, I'm married and I have kids. And I'm drinking slowly.
Yeah.
But more and heavier as the days continue and the incidences continue to occur. So we get up to 2011. I get into this shooting that I had, spoke about, and life kind of moves on, and I think after the dust settled, the adrenaline wore off, and I did my 20 plus hours of just sleeping. Then it started to kind of sink in that, oh, dang, dude, this is another one, and I started off with like a half pint of Jack, then I would go, this isn't enough. I need a pint.
Oh, wow.
So then I was drinking pints, and Jack Daniels got to be a little too expensive. Again, mind you, when it started, it was like, here and there and whatnot. It got to the point where I couldn't wait to get out of work.
Yeah.
If I was working, whatever detail I was at the time within the PD, or if I was working patrol, it didn't matter. As soon as I was friggin' out for the day, first stop was getting my, I was heading over to Sierra Mini Mart to Larry Las Bean. I was getting me my shit, man.
You know what? The only stuff I don't drink is wild turkey, because that's what I act like when I drink it. But you know what, man? You know what? And I remember us talking during this time, and I remember you telling me, "Hey, dude, I'm struggling." Dude, and I remember you telling me that, and man, and here's the problem, brother. Somebody should have just said, "Hey, let's get this guy into some."
So it kind of sort of happened that way over the years, but no one really ever said, "Hey," except for one guy. But before I get there, like I was saying, it started off really not anything too crazy, but it got to the point where I needed alcohol so bad because I was so stressed out, I had so much anxiety. Maybe it was a pursuit that day. Maybe it was a baby, that was having a medical issue that triggered something about something. You name it. By the time we went 1042, which is we're off duty for once we went 1042, I was in or out to get my drink because I needed it so bad, Jay. If I was working day shift and we got out at 1800, 1630 came around, I started to dry heave, dude. Like,
oh wow,
fuck, I need that shit. Like just the thought that, oh man, I'm gonna get it so I can calm myself down, made me sick. I get it. And I would mix it with whatever, dude. I mean, it didn't matter. Gatorade, whatever.
And here's the problem with the booze,
my choice was vodka, by the way.
Okay, and I would tell you this. You know what people don't realize about the booze is this. It is a depressant. And so, yes, it's a good time for a while.
Exactly.
And then what it does is it takes you lower. Right. And do you want to talk about the incident where you showed up at work and the paths and all that? Or...
Yeah, so I'll lead into that too. So if again, one pint was whatever. It got to but it would have to be, like I said, I was sick. I had to go get that medicine, right? For myself. That's how sick I was in the head, because that was the only way that I was gonna calm and tame the demons in my head and the friggin' crap that was going through it. At least, like you said, for a little bit of time. By the time I'd get home, man,
I'm sure this was already destroying things between you and her.
And, what I'm saying, by the time I get home, one pint's gone.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow, man. You were in it then.
From, you're talking 12 to 15 miles, maybe. Polish it off quick.
Wow.
And then it would lead, if we were going out, or if whatever it might have been, that was just like the appetizer. There might be another one on days off. It could be 2-3 pints a day with beers or wine, you name it. So it was always like that for a long period of time. But like I said, it progressively grew. Now, to answer your question, as far as the home life, absolutely.
Yeah. Me and her, we never talked about it, but I used to always go to your guys' Christmas thing every year.
Yeah,
and
the Christmas party.
She was always a sweetheart to me. I have a lot of respect for her because she was very nice to me personally. I used to tell her all the time, I knew you since you were a little kid.
Yeah.
And I never got to talk to her about it, but then I remember hearing that you guys went through a divorce.
Yeah.
And, God bless her wherever she's at. But it's sad, man, because your story is so indicative of what this job does to us. It affects everybody differently.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
for you, when you went to rehab, how was that?
So it basically came down to me going to rehab because, dude, I needed it.
Yeah.
But also, dude, my job was on the line.
Yeah.
My marriage was already crumbling.
Yeah.
So I had no choice, and I thought, you know what? Maybe this is a good thing. However, the other side of my brain was like, I don't belong there.
Yeah.
That's where, people that really got problems go. You know what I mean? I'm better than that. No, that's not me.
It's funny you say that because I've told some other cops, they're like, I'm not going to rehab because there's nothing but drunks and dope addicts there. And I've had to tell some cops who I love, you're a drunk.
Dude.
You dude. And here's the problem with cops. Yeah. We got the biggest egos on the planet.
Bro, that's what...
and I will tell you this. I applaud you for the fact that at least you had the balls to go.
I had a counselor that I was going to at the time, Kirk Wyantz, and he helped me tremendously just in personal one-on-one counseling. And he went to my church at the time. The guy helped me get into this rehab down in Del Mar, San Diego. This place is gorgeous, man. Great facility.
Well, what was it called?
Casa Palmera.
Okay.
Casa Palmera down in Del Mar, San Diego. Now, there were some things that happened where, again, I had just gotten so drunk off my ass at home, just a miserable person, horrible to be around. My family, my wife at the time, my kids. It was a lot going on to where even I had just a little bit of sense left.
And I will tell you this, I remember talking to somebody from your agency and they were like, Aguayo, man, he's a fucking mess. And I was like, hey dude, do you know his story? He's been in 3 OISs with
Aguayo?
You guys. Not Aguayo. I'm talking about you, Soriano.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. But I've said this. I've said, you don't know his story. You don't know everything he's been through. We're always very quick to point fingers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I will tell you this, bro. I've told a lot of people before they judge you, listen to what you've been through because I think your story is probably right on par with Daniel. Right. Dude, you're a warrior, dude, but there's a price.
No, and that's the thing. And there is a price. And for me, it was, it had led up to having to go down there. And I remember thinking, I don't belong there. We pulled up. My wife at the time drove me down there. And as we're pulling up, I'm looking at, I don't know, it's probably like 5 or 6 people, men and women. And they're some are sitting on the curb smoking some cigarettes. Some are shooting some hoops, cigarettes in their mouth. And I'm like, I don't fucking belong here.
Yeah.
This is not for me. I said, no, we need to go. This is bullshit. I was so sick in the head that I thought, even with the problem, I'm there because I got an issue, but I'm judging these people negative. So I finally sacked up and went in there. And did, the orientation thing, and they showed me where I'd be staying, and my wife left, and there I was, and I did like a 3-day detox, and no cell phones, no nothing, man. They assign you a counselor for your stay. I was supposed to be there 30 days. I'm slowly meeting people. And I'm thinking, dude, these guys are freaking heroin addicts, alcoholics, you name it, cutters, everybody, right? And here I am, this alcoholic cop, Right. So
I'm here.
I'm
and they're
fucking
here.
right there, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, probably half those guys are probably like, hey, motherfucker, I'm here because I got arrested. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. Nobody there judged me, not 1 second. Nobody there turned their head or away from me because I was a cop. As a matter of fact, they were intrigued by it because they're like, what happened? Now, mind you, at that time, I had only been through my Explorer shooting and then the one on Blackstone.
Yeah.
I hadn't even gone through the last two yet, right? So I'm thinking, oh, man, I'm telling my story. And they're just like, what the hell? I'm telling about my family, my kids, just everything that I've experienced. I ended up making such great connections with them. But the problem was myself needed more work. I was supposed to be there only 30 days. I got extended to an extra 2 weeks. So I did a total of 45 days because I popped off on a counselor.
Okay.
Yeah. And that counselor ended up being one of my favorite counselors at the end because he helped me really. He put me in my place real quick.
Yeah. And, here's the problem with cops. We don't like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds to me like it ended up being a positive thing.
It was. So I was there 45 days. I got out February of 13. Okay. Life's great. Jay, I'm like, man, things are looking up. I'm fucking sober. I'm not even craving any alcohol. Life was just great. It was good. Then
you get dispatched to another OIS.
No. At that point, I was still working there. Mm-hmm. I was still assigned to there.
Excuse me.
God bless you. And so, April of 2013, I had already completed my classes for the day that I was supposed to teach at. So it was in the earlier part of the afternoon. And I hear over the radio. Now I'm in my dare car. Now let me mind you, this is a Chevy Monte Carlo. It's the ugliest looking thing, dude. But it had dare blasted all over the sides.
I remember
the hood.
Yeah.
Right. Had the vector lights, But anyways, that was my unit, right? And being me, I had already taught classes that day, so I had a little time. So I'm out there just looking for whatever. If anybody needs a fill unit or, whatever.
And for the folks at home, they really, it's not like you can't, but they really don't want you.
They don't like that.
Yeah, they don't want you to get involved in pursuits in the dare car.
Yeah, especially in dare. They don't really want you doing anything in the schools. But me being Soriano, I was out there still working.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the detectives was Code 5 in this vehicle, which he was basically keeping eyes on this vehicle for this person that was a known drug. He sold drugs and whatnot. So anyways, they tried to make a stop on him. It takes off. They were in an unmarked. They needed a black and white. I'm literally in the area, and this is the closest black and white you're going to get with this dare chasing the drug dealer.
Yeah.
The dare guy chasing it. So anyways, pursuit goes out all the way into Strathmore. During the pursuit, multiple times tried to run me off the roadway. A couple times he tried to brake check me, to have me swerve into a couple tractors we were passing. Because from here to Strathmore is nothing but county.
Well, and for the folks at home, so Strathmore, it's kind of right smack dab between us and Porterville. It's out in the middle of Timbuktu. You got 65 will lead you there, but I'm sure you guys took Tulare Lindsay to the 65 or
we took every possible road in the pursuit.
But anyways, Strathmore, very small community.
Right near Porterville.
I don't know, like 2,000 people live there. I don't even know. I don't know how many people, but it's a very small. It's got a high school. It's got maybe a couple of stores. And that's it.
Well, where the shooting happened was right across the street from one of the elementaries there.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, as the pursuit's going, trying to run me off the road, he's throwing his dope out.
Okay.
So I have cocaine all over the hood of my car, on my windshield. I'm having to wipe it off. Like, this guy's just ditching everything out. We're getting closer to Porterville's jurisdiction, so we had already advised Porterville CHP that we had this pursuit, and we're coming in. We're X amount of time away, whatnot. So they were already set up. So I knew that. Perfect.
Do you have a second unit with you?
Yes. At that point, my buddy Jeremy Jones.
Okay.
And Brian Cordenese.
Oh, wow. I know both of those cats,
Yeah. And if you know, those guys, you want those guys with you as well. However, they were a little ways back. So we end up getting towards this this olive orchard, and he ends up riding along the side of it, and he dips into it along this canal. Now, mind you, all this dust I can't see clearly at all. I didn't even know his car I didn't know he had leg build from his car. His truck actually was an old, like, Toyota single cab truck, old 80s maybe. Anyways, I pulled up, see the door open, he's gone. So I jump out of my car. I see him running in the orchard. I take leg bell after him. I get behind him, giving orders to stop. Now he's jumping rows, and I see that he's headed towards this property, this one parcel that has a home on it. And I'm thinking, okay, he just ran, ditching dope. He's digging in his waistband at this point, and he's running towards his house. I have no idea what's going on at this point. I thought I was broadcasting everything over my radio, but I guess from using my extender on my radio, it wasn't broadcasting anything. So nobody knew where I was in this orchard. So as he's getting closer to the house, he's jumping these rows. I get behind him, and I saw that he had kind of slightly looked down, was messing with his front waistband area, and his pocket. And he looked back and looked forward, and then I see him fiddle, and he starts to slow his run, almost like he's coming to a stop.
Let you catch up.
And then as he's doing that, he's making a motion towards his right, and I see his right hand, which is clear, but then I see a black elongated object in his left hand. What am I thinking? I think it's a gun at that point. Yeah. That's what I perceived. Mind you, we are running. I'm still running as this is all going down. I'm trying to process this. When I see that, I'm thinking, yep, that's a gun.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. So I fire 3 rounds. I strike him in the knee. He goes down. Because, again, he was running, I was running.
Are we talking...
I only shot him once.
Center mass? Or
no, one on his knee.
Knee, okay.
Yeah. So he goes down. We ended up finding the object, which wasn't a handgun. But it was still, it was an object. And at that point, Brian Cordonese got there, and took his belt off, started a tourniquet on him. CHP sergeant was there, and Jeremy Jones got there, and then everybody was just, all right, let's go. Let's get you out. And they secured him. Made sure I was good, and Chief Breckenridge at the time and Captain Morales, I believe, is the one that drove me back to the PD from there. And then we ended up finding out that was family that lived there. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that happened about 2 months after I just gotten out of rehab. So after that,
brother.
April 30th of 2013, that's when that happened. And then kind of took a toll from there.
You were later diagnosed with PTSD.
Yes.
And eventually medically retired.
Yes.
What did that process look like from the inside?
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. The decision to retire medically came after my third OIS in January of 2020. And fortunately, that guy also survived. But I think after a lot of reflecting, and I went to Calgoa.
Yeah.
I went to Calgoa. I went to Dr. Gandolfo up in Fresno. And Gandolfo was the one that talked to me for a very, very long time, almost a year, with these sessions. And he's like, not telling me what to do, but highly recommending. He goes, as we all know, you get in one shooting, probably going to get, you got a better chance to get another one. If you get another one, probably going to get another one. And it just keeps going. And he kept reiterating that. And I analyzed my whole career and how it affected me as a police officer, but then also how it affected me outside of the job.
Brother, man, I remember I ran into you shortly after one time, and you told me, hey, man, I'm going to pull the plug, dude. And you know what? Your story is, it's a sad story, but it's also one of redemption because, dude, I see you now and dude, you look happier. You look better. Dude,
you.
I don't know if you know this, man, but dude, I grew up in those apartments right there at Martin Luther King and
MLK
and Blackstone.
Yeah.
And but I live next door to your fiance or girlfriend. I live next door to her grandmother and their family. Me and her grandmother worked at the Sequoia Club together. Amy used to come and hang out at our house all the time.
Amy?
Yes.
Oh.
Hey, and
no kidding,
back
Jay.
then, I mean, Keith, who recently passed.
Yeah.
I remember when we moved in there, it was foggy. And I heard Keith yelling. I looked out my bedroom window, and I saw some guys had his barbecue, and they were running through the. I just saw this barbecue. But dude, so what's weird, bro?
Yeah,
this is all connected, dude. It's like the 6 degrees of Kevin
That's
Bacon,
crazy.
right? Can you describe what it felt like realizing that you could no longer safely continue the career that you had dedicated your life to? I know you thought you probably could, but I applaud the city for retiring you out because I think if you would have kept doing this, I think you were going to get prosecuted.
There was a officer involved shooting that occurred after I don't remember if it was shortly after I decided this is gonna be it, and I more than likely would have been a part of that or been working that night. So look, the decision was hard. I had a lot of support from the PD, from Tulare. You know, they put up with my shit, dude. I mean, let's just be straight up. I caused them headaches, but I was a go-getter. I freaking humped it, man. I was out there. I was turning over rocks, man. I was no front plate. I don't care. I'm stopping you because I'm looking for something, man. And that's the kind of cop I was. And anybody who needed backup, man, you can ask anybody I worked with.
Yeah, bro. And I will tell you this, man. I mean, your third OIS. Give me like a 2-minute quick thing on that.
Just like I said, January of 2020. Bill Robertson and I working on the west side. We got dispatched to a call on the east side regarding armed 211 armed robbery that had just occurred. 2 male subjects. And, sometimes those come out and then, okay, well, maybe we'll see. But we start rolling with the purpose, still. And I remember getting on the radio. I said, confirming armed, affirmative. Maybe we got a live one here, okay. So Bill's K9, Bill's behind me in his unit. I'm primary, we're rolling. And we get into the area of like Inyo and O Street, I believe it was. And so we start there's a couple of units that had gotten there as well that everybody starts kind of fanning out. Based on the last direction of travel.
To the PD right there.
That's right. Southeast of it.
Yeah.
Mariposa and R is okay. So I hit Mariposa eastbound. I see a male subject all blacked out, hoodie on, and I see that he has something in his hand. I just can't see what. So I jump out of the car. I put it out that we're here. He's running this direction. I just take leg bill after him. He sees me, he hears me. I'm going to stop police. He continues to leg bail eastbound towards our street, runs right along with the west side of the cemetery there.
Yeah.
It's right by Tulare Union. So he's going, I'm right behind him, and I'm telling him to stop, but he ends up turning to his left as he's running and I'm running, and I see the barrel of a rifle. So at that point, I'm like, nah.
Here we go.
So I shoot 3 rounds. I struck him once in the lower extremity. He goes down. The rifle fell out of his hands, slid out away from him. Billy was right behind me. Bill Robertson, he was right behind me. Other units got there, took him into custody, secured the firearm. What's crazy is when we rolled him over, he had a white Jason mask on, dude.
Wow.
So I'll never forget that, after that's
shooting. Something out of a movie, brother.
Yeah, I roll him over and I'm just like, dude, okay, let's roll you back over. No. So that was that one. He did end up surviving that. Like I said, I just shot him once in the lower extremity. But after that shooting, I remember getting in my patrol car and just sitting there. And I got the whole block out now. Crime scene tape, every police car you can think of. I get in my car, and these neighbors were just kind of pointing at me, and I think they'd seen what had happened, and I'm just sitting there going, "What the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
number 3?
Yeah,
are you fucking serious?" And I pulled myself together. I said, "All right, let's go." I grabbed what I needed because I knew this car wasn't moving,
Well, the sad part is, man, dude, a lot of I don't know anybody who's been more OISs than you. I just don't. And, dude, for a 25-year vet like me to say that, that's saying something, brother.
Yeah.
And with all that you've been through, I know I wanted to touch on this real fast, but I know that you showed up to work one day.
Yeah.
You were smelling like booze.
It was.
And they passed you and you blew a
0.17.
Yeah.
That's
and for the folks at home,
Yep.
that right there is, you're pretty much drunk.
I was twice over the legal limit.
But with all that being said, I want people to know this. Dude, when I look at you now, dude, you have come leaps and bounds, dude. What has helped you begin to heal from all this, and what challenges you today, brother?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to say this, and it's probably sounds so cliche, but God,
good man,
number one. And I brought this real quick.
Yeah,
this is the medallion that I wore every single day. It's a St. Jude medallion. This was given to me by my sister Irene, my middle sister. She gave it to me after the first OIS I had as an explorer. And when she gave this to me, she told me to wear it, make sure this would protect me, And every freaking moment after she gave me this, whenever I did a ride along, whatever it was, until I became a police officer, during the academy, this was with me every single day.
Yeah, for the folks at home, St. Jude is the patron saint of lost causes, man. And dude, I could tell you this, man. I've known your sister.
Yeah.
She's a sweetheart. And, I remember there was a lot of talk that she was going to become a cop.
She wanted to very badly. She was working for that, yeah.
Said, I remember us talking one time and you told me that after retirement, you have struggled to find yourself outside of law enforcement.
Yeah.
How did you start to rebuild your identity?
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. So God and certain things that, I have faith in, right? But my family, hands down, my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brother-in-laws, But I'm going to tell you, Katie, my fiance, has challenged me in ways that no one ever else has. And really look into what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
And I could honestly, with all my heart, we've had these conversations and it's gone both ways, bro.
Yeah, man. And you know what, dude? I mean, I honestly, man, I got lucky compared to you. I look at a lot of guys, man. And what does your work as a code enforcement officer mean to you now?
Dude, it's like having the easiest way I explain it's like being a cop without having to be a cop.
Correct.
I don't have to suit up and drive, the target all day and worry about someone coming up to me and doing something horrible. I mean, that could happen anywhere. But in this job, doing code enforcement out of the county, I work with great people. Some of them are also retired law enforcement from allied agencies, which is really great.
Do you work with Mike Stevens?
I work with Michael Stevens. I do.
Okay. Mike's one of the guys that got this going.
Really?
He's part of this.
Yeah, he does our marijuana abatement.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
And,
I work with them. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, working there and still being able to, help people with certain issues they may have, just different type of issues, right?
Yeah.
So same thing, just a little bit different world. So I do get to do that with a lot more or less headache.
Yeah. How has your perspective on service changed since you've left the force?
Well, Jay, let's just put it this way. I'm glad I was a cop when I was, and I'm glad I got out when I got out.
Yeah.
I like I said, I trained at the academy from '09 till about 2 years ago when I officially retired from there. There are some things that I do like, I agree with, but there are a lot of things that are being taught in these academies and then out on the street when they're in FTO. Certain mentalities about how to handle policing that I do not agree with. Maybe it's the way I was trained.
Well, no, you're right, man. It's a generational thing, brother.
Also,
and right when I was getting out, I was feeling the same like you, man. Here's the problem. Warriors, right? We think a certain way.
Yeah.
And anything that contradicts that.
Yeah.
And I think body cams have been great, but I also think body cams have made cops not act when they should. And there's been people that I think have been injured and killed because of body cams.
I completely agree with that. And, towards the end of my career, I did, we utilized the body cams, which were a big help for some things. But I can see where other officers have or potentially hesitated that could have
100%
saved them their life. So yeah, I think the mentality is still good. The idea behind it is still great. Do I personally agree with some of the way things that are being ran? No, not so much. But
what do you miss most about police work, man? I miss being boots on the ground, bro.
Dude.
I miss being part of like the car chases and all the fights and all the meat and potato stuff. Obviously all the other political stuff.
Yeah.
I don't miss any of that, man. But dude, I miss it, bro.
Dude, I miss,
I wish I didn't have to say that, but
I know
I do. I miss it, man.
Yeah, no, dude. Would I go back? No, I've had my 17 plus years, whatever. But do I miss it to where? Yeah, absolutely. All the guys. I mean, even if I was having like a down day or I was tired that day, man. You know what motivated me that day? The guys in briefing. Speaking of one of the guys. Like we talked about Mace, life of the party. It could be 5:45 and we're in briefing at, for day shift. Nobody wants to be there, want to be in bed, but there's Mace, laughing it up. So those guys, the guys and girls that we worked with, it made it fun. It was exciting. The camaraderie was there. The support, I truly, I'm speaking for myself, I truly did feel the support from the Tulare PD.
I will tell you this, brother, and this is going to be a bold statement, man. I've held a lot of titles since I retired, and I have not worked with the caliber of people that I've worked with in law enforcement. Dude, people that come into this is a calling. This is a lifestyle. People that do it are some of the best people I've ever known.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard to match that caliber of people outside of this business.
Right.
When you look back over your 22 total years of service, what are you most proud of?
All of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's everything from even helping that old lady with a simple incident report about whatever.
Yeah.
It's talking to that lady, making her day absolutely great. And then the complete opposite.
Oh, yeah.
Going to that fatal crash. But the times, that I had to tell family the worst news.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, I still felt it was shitty, especially when I worked in motors and we had to give those notifications. But it was like, it felt shitty to have to do. But I made sure that it was delivered in a gentle, respectful manner for the person and the family. And that's what made me walk away feeling good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
we do get to do a lot of good.
We do a lot of great, but don't get me wrong. Even though you did great, you still think about it, you process it, you think about it, and it still affects you. But you are proud. Multiple, examples of that. And again, like you just stated, all that running and gunning and pursuits, and anybody who says that they didn't get in a job for this is lying. That's
100%.
Let's just be honest with that.
I always ask all my guests this. If you could speak to your 15-year-old self, that kid joining the CHP Explorers for the first time, what would you want him to know?
I would want that Alex to know that it's going to be okay. You're going to go through some shit, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bumpy motherfucking ride.
100%, brother.
But put that seatbelt on, because at the end of this ride, you're going to look back and you're going to be damn proud of the shit that you did for the better.
Yeah.
The lives you touched. And you know what motivates me the most too? My two sons. They're about almost 19 and almost 18. My fiance, Katie. And our little girl, her daughter, which I consider like mine. I noticed she's 2. Who's 10 now. Addie. Those right there, huge.
Yeah. I would tell you this, brother. Me and all the guys at Vice AUPD, that truly know you, we hold you in high regard. And I don't say that about many, but I know your story, dude. And like I said, man, dude, 3 OISs plus the one with Felix, dude. I mean, that's 4 plus getting shot at plus, just all the trauma that you experienced, dude. You are a true warrior, bro.
I appreciate you, Jay.
What do you want current and future officers to understand about trauma, mental health, or seeking help?
Man, I know the stigma or the way we were trained was always like, hey, get over it, suck it up, let's go, move on. That's true to a certain extent. We have to do our job, right? If this call was a shitty call, hey, let's go 10-8, on to the next one. Totally understandable. But what I would tell them and that old, that 15-year-old Alex is that it's okay to talk.
Yeah. That's our problem, dude.
Yes, dude.
We don't.
Yes. I would talk to the vodka bottle or the Jack Daniels bottle in my truck alone, drunker than fucking drunk, because I was too afraid to reach out and talk to people, anybody. Now, I did reach out at times, and this is very important for those listeners out there and for people to know, man. I did reach out to a few friends that have been friends 20 to 25 years. I have lost some of those because they got tired of my bullshit. They got tired of the phone call. I'm assuming they see Alex, they're like, forget it. That was me reaching out. Yeah, you might have heard the same story 5 or 10 or 20 times, but that was saving me from doing something stupid.
I would tell you something, bro. The level of outpouring of love since I've started this thing.
Yeah, man.
Has hit me right where I live and breathe. Dude, people have shown me so much love because of this, because, dude, we're saying stuff. We're talking about things that normally we don't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show the human side of this job and what there was a price that it took for, and it took from all of us.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yep.
How do you define courage today compared to how you defined it at the start of your career?
Dude, I think over time, my courage is built.
Yeah.
At the time, 15, bro, when I graduated the academy a month after my 21st birthday.
Yeah. So
I was greener than green, dude. I think within time, it built to what it is today, to where I'm at right now, the way I feel right now.
What's next for you, brother? Personally, professionally, spiritually? Where you at?
Personally, right now, where I work, working for the county is great. Like I said, I love the people I work with right now. It's a great job. That's in the works for the next few years until we decide what we're gonna do after that. Right now, yes, my fiance Katie and I are moving into a house, and we're slowly reaching our goals that we've set forth and for us and our relationship.
God bless you, brother.
All that,
and
proceeding forward.
I'm going to tell you something, dude. You deserve it. You deserve it. All right, my last question.
Yes, sir.
Finally, if your story could help just one person out there struggling, what message would you want them to hear from you right now? What would be the best thing you could tell that person?
Whatever is going through your mind, whether it's you feel you're alone or you have a craving for whatever drug of choice or addiction it may be, call somebody.
Yeah.
Freaking get out there, communicate with somebody. If you have nobody, hey man, I think Daniel said it last week. If you think you have that problem, you got nobody in life. I told Daniel this too. When I entered my first AA meeting, that welcome home comment.
Yeah.
I talked to Daniel after that podcast, man. That welcome home, that's maybe what that person needs.
Yeah.
You go chase that addiction, whatever it is, that drug of choice, you're going to end up right back in the same situation, miserable, contemplating, who do I reach out to? Well, you know what? I'll go get it again. No, man, it's going to be a revolving door. Get it done. Yeah. Because it's possible, Jay.
I would tell you something, and here's my problem. We've been talking for 2 hours and 16 minutes, and it feels like 10 minutes. So I'm going to have to go ahead and wrap this up. Yes, but I got to tell you something from me to you, brother. You're a warrior. You're a good man. I'm proud of you. And I want you to know, I tell all my guests this, if I have you on here, that means I love you and I want the best for you. You ever need anything from me, anytime, any place, anywhere, the answer is yes, man. And I'm just over the moon for you because I want good things for you. You deserve it. You've been through hell and back. You're here now.
Yeah.
You look great. Your fiance looks great. You guys look happy.
Thank you.
And just know, man, I'm always in your corner and I'm always rooting for you, man.
No, I appreciate it, Jay. And again, thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for creating this because it has helped me out. And I know it's helped others, but dude, and like I already told you, even with Katie, we watched these episodes and especially last week's, and you're doing great things.
Thank you,
keep
brother.
It up, Jay.
I'm trying. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. This is our episode with Alex Soriano. Next week, I got another guest coming in. Please get people to subscribe. Feel free to drop some comments on YouTube. I do enjoy reading them. I do take what you guys say on board, and I take it serious. And with that, we'll end our episode. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, Jay.